Come through the sky, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Zay, collectively known as SoCal Uncensored or
SCU! This is Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the worst podcast I've ever been on. Word.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the best podcast you never heard of. My name's Tom. I am your host. I want to thank everybody for watching, listening, and subscribing on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Make sure to check out the website, catchhookshoot.com. You can find all the podcasts, videos, interviews, photo gallery, pretty much anything you could want to find about the show, including the CHS shop, where you got some pretty cool t-shirts and hats and a brand new hoodie that was just posted there recently. So make sure you head over there and check that out and, buy something if you're feeling like it. And make sure you're following on all social media, on all platforms. You can find the show at Catch Hook Shoot. And head over to our Pro Wrestling Tees store, prowrestlingtees.com/catchhookshoot to find all the t-shirts that you won't find on catchhookshoot.com. And you can find links to all that and more on our link tree, which is linktree/catchhookshoot, or you can scan this little QR code right here in the corner of your screen if you're watching on YouTube. And if you ever want to shoot me an email, it's catchhookshoot@gmail.com. So, once again, starting off the show on a sad note. Unfortunately, I feel like even though we were away for a couple months, I still feel like we're saying this way too often. But just yesterday, as I'm recording this, Reggie Parks passed away. If anybody out there like me is a belt nerd, you know who Reggie Parks is. Designed some of the most well-known championship belts in wrestling, including the Winged Eagle that you see over my shoulder here, as well as the Classic Intercontinental Championship, the Classic WWE Tag Team Championship, the NWA Television title, the United States title, any iconic classic belt you can think of. More than likely it was designed by Reggie Parks. And just like I said, just passed away this week. So rest in peace to Reggie Parks. They're, in my opinion, the best belt maker ever in the history of pro wrestling. So, let's keep moving right along with the show, getting into our first segment here, which is a brand new one that just debuted last week, and that is the lead story. So the lead story for this week is American Top Team and the Inner Circle in AEW. I'm really, really liking this storyline with these guys. Just American Top Team, just kind of a thorn in the side of the Inner Circle. And, we saw American Top Team this week take out Sammy Guevara and Fuego del Sol after Sammy Guevara's TNT Championship match. Chris Jericho and Jake Hager made the save. And this leads to a six-man tag team match next week on Rampage, which is going to be Jericho, Hager, and Guevara taking on Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, and Junior Dos Santos, former UFC champion. So it should be a pretty damn good match between those guys. So that is the lead story, which basically just means my favorite storyline of the week is all it is. But American Top Team versus the Inner Circle. I'm really liking this one, so I'm very excited to see this six-man match that we're going to get next week. Let's move right into the next segment here, which is what is, in my opinion, the best match of the week, or my favorite match of the week, and it is called the Match of the Week. This week's match of the week comes from MLW Fightland, which was on Vice TV just this past Thursday, and it is Alexander Hammerstone versus Jacob Fatu. Title versus title. Hammerstone, of course, was the national openweight champion, and Jacob Fatu, the world heavyweight champion. And Alexander Hammerstone was victorious in this one, so he is now a double champion. He is the new MLW World Heavyweight Champion, as well as the National Openweight Champion, and this match was amazing, just because the size of both of these guys, they beat the living hell out of each other, but both of these guys can move, and they can do some stuff in that ring. So this match, to me, was just impressive. To see, this has been building and building and building for so long with these two guys. I mean, Hammerstone's been wanting this world title shot for a long time, and he's been dealing with Contra Unit at every turn, just throwing all kinds of obstacles in his way. We finally get to this match, and it did not disappoint. So if you have not checked out MLW Fightland, and specifically this main event between Alexander Hammerstone and Jacob Fatu, you owe it to yourself to see this match. If you just want to see two big hosses in there beating the shit out of each other, you need to check this match out, because it, like I said, did not disappoint. So yeah, match of the week, Hammerstone versus Fatu from MLW Fightland. So we'll keep things rolling right along with my top 3 highlights of the week, and that, of course, is called the 3 count. First up on the 3 count this week, Cora Jade, formerly known as Elena Black, picked up a huge victory on NXT this week against Frankie Monet. Definitely an upset, and yeah, I mean, I gotta give her props on this one. I mean, she's a Chicago girl. I have had the pleasure of calling a few of her matches at Warrior Wrestling, and before she was signed with NXT, and yeah, it looks like she's getting a little bit of a push now, and I'm curious to see where, how far this is going to go. I mean, obviously, like I said, this was a huge upset. Frankie Monet, formerly known as Taya Valkyrie, obviously well-established superstar. So, a huge victory for Cora Jade in this case, and I'm wondering if this is going to be a rivalry that's going to continue with her and the Robert Stone brand, as it were, which Frankie Monet is a part of. And so yeah, it looks like with this new NXT 2.0, they're really trying to push some of these new stars that they have, like Cora Jade and like Braun Breaker, which we'll get into in a little bit here. But yeah, Cora Jade picking up an upset win over Frankie Monet. Number 2 on the 3 count, AEW introducing a brand new championship, the Women's TBS title, and this is going to go into effect when Dynamite moves over to TBS in January, and I guess it's going to kick off with a tournament to crown the first champion. Yeah, a lot of conflicting opinions on this one online. I'm definitely in favor of it. I think it's a good complement in the women's division to the TNT championship and the men's division, and it's basically, guys, it's a TV title. I mean, come on, that's pretty much what it is. It's obviously named after the channel that the show is going to be on. So I'm wondering if the TNT championship then is going to be exclusive to Rampage, because Rampage is staying on TNT when Dynamite moves over to TBS. So I'm curious to see how they're going to do that. Are those championships going to go back and forth between the two shows? I mean, they're both Turner Network, so there's no reason they couldn't. Or are they going to stay on their respective networks, where the TBS championship is only going to be on Dynamite and TNT championship is only going to be on Rampage? I guess we'll have to wait and see. They haven't been real specific about that since they have announced the channel change and this new championship. So we'll have to see how that's all going to work out. And number 3 on the 3 count, we got the announcement that WOW, Women of Wrestling, will be returning in 2022, and they are in a partnership with CBS Viacom. So pretty big network there. So who knows what channel they'll end up on? Could it be streaming, something like on I think it's what is it, Paramount Plus, I think, is their streaming app for CBS Viacom, or is it going to be on a cable station? Who knows? They haven't made the announcement yet. But WOW, Women of Wrestling will be coming back in 2022, and some pretty surprising. Well, one surprising name that's attached to it is AJ Lee, well, formerly known as AJ Lee, AJ Mendez, wife of CM Punk, obviously, former WWE Women's Champion, and, been out of wrestling, been retired for quite a while, but she is returning with WOW, and she's going to be an executive producer as well as a color commentator. Also, Tessa Blanchard will be a part of the relaunch of WOW. She's a former WOW Women's Champion, and so she's going to obviously be the face of the company, I would think. And also, interesting to note, Izzy is going to be a part of WOW Women of Wrestling. Those of you unfamiliar with Izzy, I used to always refer to her as Bayley's superfan. I mean, that's how she kind of started out. She was always in the front row at NXT tapings when Bayley was in NXT. She would dress like Bayley, and Bayley brought her into the ring a few times, and it just kind of grew from there. She's got her own YouTube show. She does interviews. She's trained in wrestling, and I mean, she is pursuing this dream. And I mean, major props to her, because not a lot of kids that age know what they want to do. But Izzy seems like she's got so much focus and is so determined to, have her life be in wrestling, and she's making it happen. She is now an official part of WOW. So I'm assuming she's going to be like in a backstage interview type role or something like that. But huge props to Izzy for being a part of WOW when they make their comeback. So let's get into what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling this week, starting with the WWE draft. The final night was held on Smackdown this past Friday, so let's go through the final rosters here for the WWE draft. On the Raw side, they've got Big E, Bianca Belair, RK Bro, which is Riddle and Randy Orton, Edge, Nikki Ash and Rhea Ripley, Bearcat Lee, Rey and Dominic Mysterio, where am I at here? Austin Theory, Akira Tozawa, the Alpha Academy, Apollo Crews and Aziz, Doudrop, Drake Maverick, John Morrison, Nia Jax, R-Truth, Reggie, T-Bar, Zelina Vega, Becky Lynch, Lashley and MVP, Seth Rollins, Damian Priest, AJ Styles and Omos, Kevin Owens, the Street Profits, Finn Balor, Karrion Kross, Alexa Bliss, Carmella, Gable Steveson, which was kind of a surprise pick, Dana Brooke, Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode, Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, Jackson Riker, Liv Morgan, Mia Yim, kind of a surprise. Last time, we haven't really seen her on TV since she left Retribution. The Miz, Tamina, Tegan Nox, and Veer. And then on the SmackDown side, we've got Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman, Charlotte Flair, Drew McIntyre, The New Day, which of course is Kofi and Xavier Woods, Baron Corbin and Madcap Moss, Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss, Hit Row coming up from NXT, so that's a pretty good pickup for SmackDown. Naomi, Jeff Hardy, Aaliyah, also coming from NXT, Drew Gulak, Mace, Mansoor, Mustafa Ali, Tony Storm, the Usos, Sasha Banks, Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs, Sheamus, Shayna Baszler, Xia Li coming up from NXT. That's definitely a good pickup. The Viking Raiders, Ricochet, Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo, Cesaro, Ridge Holland coming up from NXT, Sami Zayn, Jinder Mahal and Shanky, Natalya and Shotzi Blackheart rounds out the SmackDown roster. And then as far as free agents go, we've got Brock Lesnar, Asuka, Bayley, Elias, Eva Marie, Lacey Evans, Lucha House Party, Maurice, Slapjack, and Titus O'Neil. None of them taken in the draft. Most of them out with injuries, so that's why I guess they weren't eligible for draft. Who knows? But so that is how the WWE draft shook out this year. So moving on to some NXT news. Seeing a lot going on with the NXT women's division. We've got Mandy Rose with her new little faction, Toxic Attraction. They're making some waves. Went after Raquel Gonzalez last week and this week again, actually, and this time Raquel was saved by the women's tag team champions. So Mandy and Toxic Attraction definitely looking are the primary ones in the women's title pictures in NXT. So the NXT women's division getting some new blood. Talked about Cora Jade earlier. So, and we've got Halloween Havoc coming up again on October the 26th. And Tommaso Ciampa laid out a challenge for the NXT Championship. Of course, he is currently the NXT champion. That challenge was answered by Braun Breaker, of course, the son of Rick Steiner. I don't know why they won't acknowledge that he's a Steiner, because when he talks, he sounds exactly like Scott Steiner. But it is what it is. So, Braun Breaker getting an NXT Championship match right off the bat, starting off his NXT career. We also saw an appearance from Parker Boudreaux, who is now, I guess, known as Harland in NXT, sporting a little bit of a new look, a shaved head, and just kind of very menacing and almost I want to say stalker type look, but I like the new look though with the shaved head and everything, because he drew a lot of comparisons to Brock Lesnar when he was first signed by WWE, or when WWE was first showing interest in him. So this is kind of getting away from that. I think it's going to get him away from those Brock comparisons, which is good, because that's really really unfair to do that to this kid, just getting into the wrestling business, to compare him to somebody like Brock Lesnar, who is so dominant and just, had one of the greatest rookie years anybody's ever had. I mean, probably the 3 best rookie years anybody's ever had in WWE would be Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle, and Ronda Rousey. And, that's a lot of pressure to put on this kid just starting off his career. So I think changing up his look and his personality, getting him away from those comparisons is going to be a very good thing for him. On SmackDown, we had Seth Rollins basically, continuing his antagonism of Edge, trying to get Edge to come out when supposedly Edge wasn't there. Seth was in the ring at the end of the show, calling Edge out, saying, come on, accept my challenge. You can pick the stipulation. You can pick the time and the place and blah, blah, blah. And obviously not expecting Edge to show up. And then we cut to a scene in the back. Edge is pulling up in the Escalade, comes out to the ring, gives Seth a little bit of a beatdown. Seth runs away, and Edge just gets on the mic and just says, you, me, Hell in a Cell. So I'm guessing that's going to happen at Crown Jewel. They didn't really specify, but I would assume, that's the next big event coming up. So, Edge and Seth Rollins, a Hell in a Cell. We also had the beginning of the King of the Ring and Queen's Crown tournaments. It started on SmackDown this past week. We had Rey Mysterio taking on Sami Zayn and Cesaro taking on Finn Balor in the King of the Ring. And Finn Balor and Sami Zayn did advance in those. And in the Sami Zayn Rey Mysterio match, we're starting to see, or not starting, we're continuing to see some dissension between Rey and Dominic, some miscommunication. Dominic kind of cost Rey Mysterio the match, so there is a split coming for Rey and Dominic. It's just a matter of when and how it's gonna finally happen. Then on the Queen's Crown side, we had Toni Storm taking on Zelina Vega and Liv Morgan taking on Carmella. Zelina Vega and Carmella were victorious in those matches, so they're moving on to the semifinals. Now, as far as I'm aware, the finals of these tournaments are going to happen at the Crown Jewel event, or at least for the King of the Ring they are. I think the Queen's Crown is happening there as well, but we'll have to see. But I have a little more to say about the Queen's Crown tournament coming up in a little bit here in a different segment of the show. Some AEW news. Sammy Guevara retained the TNT Championship against Bobby Fish, and Bobby Fish has officially signed with AEW. Fantastic match between these two guys up until I saw the Hammerstone and Fatu match. That would have been match of the week. Dante Martin was out to the ring for an interview with Tony Schiavone, basically saying he would take on anybody. The lights went down, and Malachi Black was in the ring and just blasted Martin out of the ring with the roundhouse kick, and basically accepted that challenge. So it looks like Dante Martin is going to be Malachi Black's next target. In a little bit of a surprise, Serena Deeb tapped out Hikaru Shida in what would have been Shida's 50th victory had she won the match. They even had a trophy and everything set up at ringside for Shida in the case that she did win. And after the match, Deeb, with a little bit of a heel turn, attacked Shida with that trophy and broke it into pieces in the middle of the ring. Then we saw in a backstage segment the Pinnacle taking out Darby Allin. Now, Darby was supposed to be taking on MJF this coming week on Dynamite, and from what we were told, that is not going to happen now because Darby is not medically cleared. Hangman Page made his return to AEW, winning the Casino Ladder match, so he will get a world title match. And, people keep writing off Hangman Page, and I think, this is still part of some of the best, very long-term storytelling that we have seen in AEW. I mean, the Hangman World Championship pursuit has been going since AEW's inception. And somebody is shooting off fireworks outside my window. Nice. So Hangman again will be getting a world title match. Then some pretty cool stuff happening on Dark. Sky Blue, another Chicago girl, getting her first victory on AEW Dark. And we also saw the debut of Santana Garrett. So Santana, hopefully she gets signed with AEW. Santana Garrett, in my opinion, one of the most underrated women's wrestlers out there, doesn't get the respect that she deserves. So I'm hoping she will get signed and be a part of the AEW women's division, because I am a big Santana Garrett fan. Some Impact stuff. They had their Knockouts and Knockdown event tonight, as I'm recording this on Saturday night, Mercedes Martinez won the Knockouts Knockdown tournament, so she will be getting a Knockouts Championship match coming up. I don't know if it's going to be a Bound for Glory here in a couple weeks or what, but yeah, Mercedes Martinez will get an Impact Knockouts title match. And we found out that the Inspiration, formerly known as the Iconics, will be coming to Impact at Bound for Glory, so interested to see what their role is going to be. I'm sure they're going to be going after the Knockouts tag team titles. Some more stuff coming out of MLW from their Fightland event. Tajiri is the new middleweight champion, so new champions all around in MLW. And yeah, like I said, Alexander Hammerstone is the new world heavyweight champion, and we also found out that Will Ospreay will be making his way to MLW this fall. So there's a lot of potentially just amazing matches that could happen with Ospreay in MLW. Some New Japan news. The G1 Climax 31 rolls on, and right now the leaders in each bracket, in the A bracket, or the A block, Kota Ibushi sitting on top all by himself with 12 points, and in the B block, Jeff Cobb and Kazuchika Okada are tied at 12 points. Yeah, any one of those three I could see taking the entire tournament, so we'll have to see how that plays out. And some interesting stuff coming out of the NWA. It looks like Nick Aldis has been kicked out of the Strictly Business faction. Had a tag team match teaming with Tim Storm. Interesting partnership there. It picked up a win over Chris Adonis and Tom Latimer. And then after the match, Adonis, Latimer, and Camille beat Aldis down to the point where he had to be stretchered out. So by all accounts, Nick Aldis no longer a part of Strictly Business. Interested to see where this one's going to go as well. So that is going to wrap up the news and rumors for the week. So let me right now throw it over to Charlie G, and he is here with your Indie Cut.
Thank you, Tom, and hey to wrestling friends. I am Charlie G with this week's Indie Cut. It is a busy time in the wrestling world, so we begin with Saturday, October 2nd. And there was 55 wrestling shows. Don't worry, I won't go through all of them. So I just selected as best I could. That's right, 55 promotions. So wrestling is very hot right now in October. So we go to Stardom, Nagoya Day 1. So we had Konami and Starlight Kid defeat Himeka and Natsupoi. Maika and Siri took on Saya Kamitani and Utami Hayashita to a 15-minute draw. Mina Shirakawa and Tana Kano defeated Kaguma and Mayu Iwatani. All good matches in this, so check that out when you can. It was leading up to their celebration show last night, which I will get to later on. We go over to London, England, and Progress, Chapter 123, The Taking of Peckham. Wherever you can find Progress, please do. They have a Revelations of Divine Love first round matches. So we had Alexis Falcon defeat Lizzie Evo, and Mercedes Blaze defeated Raven Creed. And for the Progress Unified World Title, champion Cara Noir defeated Luke Jacobs. Back here in the States, United Wrestling Network, Primetime Live. They had a pay-per-view special on Fight TV from Commerce, California, where Alex Colgan, Clark Carnage, and Carl Fredericks defeated Daniel Garcia, Kevin Martinson, and Russ Tyler. Daniel Garcia is all over the place. You will hear his name quite a bit today. Good for him. Then there was a UWN World Title Tournament final match for the vacant title, where Chris Dickinson defeated Mike Bennett. And an awesome match. Check that out if you can. To Premier Wrestling Experience, All Hail the King, from Concord, North Carolina. For the PWX Pro title, champion Shug D defeated Victor Benjamin. I figure I'd throw his name in there since we'll be seeing him next week. Lance Archer defeated JD Drake. Robbie Eagles defeated Lucky Ali. For the tag team titles, Caleb Connolly and Zane Riley defeated champions Elliot Russell and Sigmund to become new champions. And the summer of Suzuki continued with Minoru Suzuki defeating Anthony Henry in what I heard was an awesome match, and I wouldn't doubt it. Up to Pro Wrestling Epic, Glorious Purpose from Alton, Illinois. Tom Landmore defeated Kendall Beck, and in a non-title three-way match, Camille defeated Allison Kay and Melanie Cruz. So nice to see some NWA talent helping out local promotions. New Japan Strong, number 60. Spirit Unleashed Day 3. For the New Japan Strong Openweight title, Tom Lawler defeated Leo Rush. A real good match there. Then we go to Heroes and Legends Wrestling, 15, from Fort Wayne, Indiana. The Headbangers, Masha and Thrasher, are back in action, going for the HLW tag titles, and they defeated champions Alpha Jr. and LA Smooth to become the champions. So the Headbangers in 2021 are still tag team champions somewhere. Congrats to them. Chris Masters defeated Sam Knight. JTG defeated Cal Hero. Drew Skills defeated Congo Kong. For the HLW Cruiserweight title, champion Cody Lee defeated Super Crazy. So Super Crazy finally made a booking. For the HLW Women's title, champion Marty Bell defeated Eva Lees. I'm sure that was a really good match. For the HLW, and then later on, it was Misa Kate defeating champion Marty Bell to become new champion. And then for the HLW title, champion Anthony Totelli defeated Elijah Burke. Then we go to Emerge Wrestling 57. Terror in Trafalgar, Indiana. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that name. Sage Phillips defeated Cole Radrick. For the Emerge Women's title, champion Charlie Cruel defeated Billy Starks. And for the Emerge Outbreak title, champion Braden Lee defeated Robert Martyr. And then Battle on the Border at Farmers Fair in Aurora, Indiana. For the BOTB Heavyweight title, champion Madman Fulton defeated my favorite, the franchise, Shane Douglas. Yes, even in his 50s, Shane is still going for world titles, and it would have been fun if he would have won this one. We go down to AAA, and there are many tapings. It was Arez, Latigo, and Viano III Jr. defeating Dulce Canella, Nino Hamburguesa, and Sexy Star. Then we had Aramis, Mystices Jr., and Octagon Jr. defeating Carter Bravo Jr., Mocha Coda Jr., and Tito Santana. That was a fine match between those six. And then we had Dinamitas of El Cutero, Forestoro, and Sanson took on Psycho Clown, Monster Clown, and Murder Clown. Oh, my fault. Monster Clown, Murder Clown, and Pagano. That went to a no contest, of course, because none of them get along, and there's this bunch of action at the end. We head to Sunday, October 3rd, my birthday. So I got Stardom Day 2. Momo Watanabe and Sai Kamatani defeated Uraka and Saki Kashima. Konami and Starlight Kid took on Kaguma and Mayu Iwatani to another 15-minute draw. And for the Artists of Stardom title, which is their trios title, Himeka, Maika, and Atsupoi defeated champions Mina Shirakawa, Tam Nakano, and Unagi Saaka in about a 20-minute beautiful match between those six, and we have new trios champions in Stardom. Head to Noah. Yes, I'll do a Noah show. N1 Victory Day 6, and the Victory final match of Katsuhiko Nakajima defeating Kanoi in 20 minutes. Go over to Ref Pro live at 2:29 in London, England. Chuck Mambo and TK Cooper defeated Brandon White and Doug Williams. For the Ref Pro Undisputed British Cruiserweight title, champion Michael Oku defeated Chris Ridgway. And for the Ref Pro Undisputed British Tag titles, Ethan Allen and Luke Jacobs defeated champions Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis. but by DQ, so no title change there. Back here in the States, and Glory Pro Wrestling, Little Rings of Horrors. I wish I could have saw this show. There was Jay Martson defeating Trevor Outlaw. For the Crown of Glory title, champion Mike Outlaw defeated Jake Something. For the Midwest Territory title, champion Rohit Raju defeated Danhausen. Sorry, Danhausen. Then we had Warhorse defeating Ali Catch by DQ. And then it went to a no DQ match where Warhorse still defeated Ali Catch. I don't know. I wish I would have saw this. Matt Fitchett defeated the one called Manders. Tootie Lynn defeated Blair Onyx. ATM defeated Eric Cannon, Dan the Dad, Davey Bang, Effie, and Cody Lane. Minor Reed defeated Fred Yehai. They had a really good match. And then Minoru Suzuki defeated Davey Richards. That had to be awesome. I'm jealous that I didn't get to see that. Up here in Cicero, Illinois, we go to Galley Lucha. Galley Mania 2021. I should look it up on Fight. It might be free. You never know. Gino Medina defeated Sam Adonis. For the Galley Indestructible or some title in Galley. Champion Cody Jones defeated Errol Starr. Laredo Kid and Mecha Wolf defeated Heel del LA Park and LA Park Jr. And in the main event, it was LA Park defeating Mil Muertes. Oh, that sounds like a fun show. Go to Monday, October 4th. Absolute Intense Wrestling, One Step Ahead on IWTV. Effie defeated TKD. Thunder Rosa defeated Jocelyn Navarro. Matthew Justice with Bill Alfonso defeated Derek Dillinger. For the AIW Absolute title and Intense title, Intense Rules match, Matt Cardona, of all people, defeated champion Joshua Bishop to become new champions. He's really into this hardcore stuff, I guess, now. Gotta sell those shirts, right, Matt? But congrats to you, and another title. Go to Thursday, October 7th. Yep, that's right, I'm skipping Tuesday and Wednesday. We start off with Beyond Uncharted Territory, Season 3, Episode 1, so nice to see them back in action. From Worcester, Mass. Catch all those shows on IWTV. Start off with the Independent Wrestling World Title match with champion Wheeler Yuta defeating Layla Hirsch. I'm sure it was really good. Masa Slamovich and Matt Mikowski defeated Yokai of Gina Kai and Yoya, who are getting ready for their Warrior tag match next week. Chris Dickinson defeated the one called Manders, and that was really good. I got to see this one. And in the main event, it was Alex Shelley tapping out Daniel Garcia in a fine match between those two. And then at the end of the match, Wheeler Yuta came out to face plant Alex Shelley with the belt, which leads to their match coming up Friday, which I'll get to in a few minutes, since he's challenging for the IWTV title. So we head right to Friday, October 8th. I'm going to start with Lucha Libre and Laughs. Dear Catastrophe Wrestler from Denver, Colorado, where they had a women's title do a tables elimination match with Heidi Howitzer defeating champion Heather Monroe and Leva Bates. I only say that because Leva finally got to wrestle. Sorry she lost, but at least she got to wrestle somewhere. Go to Hybrid Wrestling. Aces Low from Atlantic City, New Jersey. You can catch this on YouTube. I suggest you do, even though the sound is kind of low, so bear with it. Where we had Johnny Kai and Yoya team with Big Vin to defeat Young, Dumb, and Broke of Charlie Tyer, Ellis Taylor, Griffin McCoy with Jordan Oliver in the corner. Real fun match there. Trish Adora defeated Marty Bell, Masa Slamovich, and Sahara 7. That was also really good. Mercedes Martinez made her return to the ring, defeating Hala Dead. Check that out if you can. Those two are really good. Carlito, cool man, defeated JJ Garrett. Fun match. Carlito looks in great shape, even though he wore a shirt almost the whole match. But it's Carlito. It's cool, man. Then we had the one called Manders take on Otis Kogar. That didn't last long as Atticus Kogar came out to interfere. So it then turned into a tag match of the one called Manders and Mance Warner, defeating the Kogar brothers of Atticus and Otis in a pretty table, bloody, skewers, barbed wire, and chairs match. But check it out on YouTube. And then we head to the IWTV Untitled show, also in Williamstown, New Jersey, on IWTV. For the Camp Leapfrog title, champion Avery Good defeated the world famous Cheeseburger, or world famous CB, as he's going by. For the Action title, champion Eric Royal defeated O'Shea Edwards. For the AIW tag titles, who were defended the night before, Marino T and Philly C defeated Joshua Bishop and Wes Barkley to become the champions. And then for the IWTV Independent Wrestling World title, Alex Shelley defeated champion Wheeler Yuta in a fine 18-minute match. Check that out if you can. I highly tout that match. And my guess, Wheeler Yuta is going to be more in AEW with him losing the title. But all the best of both. And you get to see Alex next weekend, so tell him congratulations on the title. I doubt he'll have it since it's IWTV. But you never know, he might carry it around with him. Head to West Coast Pro Wrestling, No Leaf Clover, the 3-year anniversary show. Also on IWTV from San Francisco, California. Yes, I got to see a lot of wrestling last night. So, Sandra Moon defeated Manny Rankowski. Chris Dickinson defeated Alex Zane. Fine match between those guys. For the West Coast Pro Heavyweight title, champion AJ Gray stole a victory from Davey Richards. And a really good match there. And then we had Minoru Suzuki defeat Daniel Garcia. So Daniel Garcia fought CM Punk. Suzuki, Richard, yeah, he just had a great weekend of wrestling. And I don't think he's done. He has a show. He has a match on Saturday as well. So yeah. And they shook hands. So as of right now, from what I was reading, Minoru Suzuki just shook everyone's hand in this Summer Suzuki, except for Jonathan Gresham's. Yeah, there's some heat there, I believe. Then we head down to Mexico and Mas Lucha Supremo show on YouTube, where they had a Supremo tournament, and the Laredo Kid defeated Bandito after a great night of wrestling. I'm sure. I didn't know it was on, so I'm going to have to watch this on YouTube like everyone else is. Then early today, Saturday, October 9th, and the reason why I'm still half asleep, Stardom 10th Anniversary Grand Final Osaka Dream Cinderella show, where they had 1,400 people in attendance. Great to hear that. Glad to see they're back with more people there. Start off with Rina and Saki Kashima defeating Lady C and Waka Sugiyama. For the Future of Stardom title, Ruaka defeated champion Unagi Sayaka to become the champion. I was surprised there, as was most of the chat. If you check out DJ Ansie's special show, there's a lot of surprises there. Then we had Maria and Rin Katakura defeating Maya Sakura and Mina Sarakawa. At the end of the match, Rin was not happy with Mina, and it was just in her face all, it's like, okay, some outsiders picking on the insiders. So we'll see how that goes from there. For the high-speed title, the champion Starlight Kid defeated Fukigen Death. Fine match. They're both kind of friends, so it was quick and painless. For the Arts of Stardom title, they didn't waste any days. Champion Sameka, Maika, and Natsupoi, and New Gear, of all things, they had to match the title belts. They defeated Azumi, Momo Watanabe, and Saya Kamatani. An outstanding match between those six. Check that out. It's on somewhere on YouTube or Discord, however you find it. You know where to find them. Then we had the returning Hazuki, who is now going by Hazuki, defeated Kaguma. And at the end of the match, Hazuki asked Kaguma to be her tag partner in their upcoming tag league. So yeah, Stardom's having a tag league tournament, and Kaguma agreed. So we look forward to seeing that. We had an SWA Undisputed World Title defense by champion Siri, defeating Saki Kashima. This match happened since Konami was sick, and they couldn't do their UWFI rules match instead. But it was still an outstanding match with those two. For the Wonder of Stardom title, champion Tam Nakano went to a 30-minute draw against Mayu Iwatani, and then they just stared at each other at the end of the match, and Mayu showed off her blonde hair. These two are not done, and I'm all looking forward for the next match. So check that out. And then for the World of Stardom title, champion Utami Hayashita defeated Takuma Iroha in a 31-minute classic. Outstanding match, and a lot of respect there for those two. And then during the show, an hour later, Tokiyoshi Pro started with their Wrestle Princess 2 with 914 in attendance. So they got a nice showing too. Pam Hirazuko, Raku, and Ram Kaicho defeated Huno Neko, Kaya Tirabami, and Mahiro Kiru. Good match. Nodaka Tenma defeated Hype Masao and Rika Tatsumi. Asuka and Yuka Kamafuku defeated Marika Kobashi and now Kakuta. I actually enjoyed this match very much. Then we had Riho finally make an appearance on some wrestling ring. Team with Shoko Nakajima to defeat Ryushu Endo and Suzumi. That was actually a really good tag match there. When Aja Kong and Moko Miyamoto defeated Miyu Watanabe and Yuki Arai. Yuki got the respect of Aja at the end of the match, so that's really cool there. For International Princess title, champion Hikari Noah defeated Yuki Aino. Interesting match. It seemed like Yuki had control of most of it, but Hikari pulled it out at the end. I'm happy for that. For the Princess tag titles, we had Mizuki and Yuki Sakazaki. To defeat the champions of May St. Michelle and Saki-sama. Fun match, really cool. If you like some comedy, this is the match for you. I enjoyed it. And nice to see Mizuki and Yuka get their titles back. And then in the main event for the Princess title, champion Miyu Yamashita defeating Maki Ito. Once again, Maki put up a great fight, but she loses in that. Sorry to say, but you can next time, right? Or she's coming to the States to be part of the tournament. Who knows? And then a couple hours ago, as I'm recording this, there was Jersey City Wrestling Locked Up from Atlantic City, New Jersey, part of the GCW build-up. It's on the Game Changer Wrestling YouTube channel, so check that out if you wish. Matt Mikowski defeated JJ Garrett. Edith Terrell, Frightmare, and How Wicked defeated Young Dumb and Broke of Charlie Tiger, Ellis Taylor, and Griffin McCoy. Of course, with Jordan Oliver in the corner, since he's getting ready for tonight. Billy Starks and John Wayne Murdoch defeated the Goons of Bam Sullivan and Slade. Interesting match there. And then in a steel cage match, even on YouTube they do steel cage match. Everett Connors defeated Charles Mason in a pretty good match, I might say. Not used to those two, but really good. Then don't forget, also today on the 9th, if you listen to this on the 10th, this is yesterday, there was a GCW Fight Club show with Nick Gage versus GCW champ Jon Moxley in a bloody death match for the title with Mick Foley in attendance. So look for that if you can. There was also a AAA Heroes and Mortals 14 show, so I'll try to talk about those shows when I can during the live Warrior Wrestling 16 broadcast next week. If not, I will recap it the following week. So that's a wrap for me. Till next time with more show results and recaps, please check out our Warrior Wrestling show next week. It will be lots of fun. A long day. If you don't know, look it up why. But we will have fun nonetheless. Don't forget, keep enjoying the wrestling world how you like it. Wherever you can, watch or listen. I know I do. Thank you for watching or listening. Hope you enjoyed the cut. Keep safe, take care, and be kind, everyone. Back to you, Tom.
All right, thank you, Charlie. So let's keep things rolling right along, getting into our next new segment of the show that we just debuted last week, and that is kind of my not necessarily rankings, because I don't put them in any kind of order, but just my, I guess, standouts for the week, and I call it the top 5. First up on the top 5 this week, I mentioned her earlier, Cora Jade getting a big upset victory over Taya Valkyrie, or Frankie Monet as it were, on NXT. Yeah, like I said, looks like she's going to be getting a push coming up here soon, or at least being put into a prominent storyline, I would assume, picking up that big win. Next up, Alexander Hammerstone, again, had the match of the week with Jacob Fatu. He's the brand new MLW World Heavyweight Champion. You know, this is the payoff of a storyline that's been going for well over a year, with Hammerstone trying to get this title match, and, paying it off by winning the World Heavyweight Championship. Number 3, Hangman Adam Page getting the victory in the Casino Ladder match, making his comeback after being out for a little while with, him and his wife just had their first kid, so obviously he took some time off. But coming back, winning the ladder match, and getting that World Championship match. Number 4, Mercedes Martinez winning the Knockouts Knockdown tournament and earning herself a Knockouts Championship match coming up here in the future. And number 5 on the top 5 is MSK getting the victory in a 4-way match on NXT to retain the NXT Tag Team Championships. So let's move into the next segment here, where I get to play kind of armchair promoter, and that's called the Fantasy Booker. So this is a match that could realistically happen, and I'm sure it has happened at some point, but if it has, I haven't seen it, and I want to see it. And this is a match between, in my opinion, probably the 2 best technical wrestlers on the planet right now, and this is one that I'd love to be on the call for it. I would love to see this match happen at Warrior. But I'm talking about Zack Sabre Jr. and Jonathan Gresham. You talk about a clinic, you talk about a technical wrestling match that every single person who ever hopes to be a wrestler should watch. This would be it. I mean, like I said, in my opinion, the 2 best technical wrestlers in the world right now, and I mean, these guys it would be impossible to keep up with this match, because I have found through my experience, technical matches are harder to keep up with than the high-flying type matches, because there is so much movement and wrestling and counter wrestling and holds and counter holds and reversals and things like that. And the chain wrestling, they are so hard to keep up with. And there's going to be one of these matches, actually kind of a combination type match coming up the next Warrior show, but we'll get into that later. But ZSJ, Jonathan Gresham, if you are a fan of technical wrestling, submission wrestling the way that I am, this would be a dream match and a main event anywhere on the planet, in my opinion. So, that is my fantasy booker for this week. I want somebody to make this match happen. So let's get into the final segment of the show here, where I give kind of a not-so-popular opinion, and I'm talking about the weekly hot take. WWE is already fumbling with this Queen's Crown tournament. I hate to say it, there's only been 2 matches so far, and total, the matches were less than 5 minutes. I mean, one was like just over 2 minutes. I don't know. It was less than 5 minutes for both matches. It was probably less than 4 minutes. And, it was just that there was nothing to them. I mean, these women are not getting a good chance to show what they can do. They're being given 2 and 3 minutes at a time, sometimes less than that, but so many people say, oh, at least they were on the show. Screw that. Give these women are talented. They can get in that ring and go. Give them some freaking time. You want people to respect this tournament. You want this to come off as being some prestigious honor to win this Queen's Crown, then let these women go in there and show what they can do. I mean, and in my opinion, the wrong women won these matches, and that's not a knock against Carmella or Zelina Vega. I'm a fan of both of them, especially Zelina Vega. I've been a fan of Thea Trinidad since she was in TNA, way back in the day. But my opinion, Toni Storm and Liv Morgan should have been the ones to win these matches, or at the very least, Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan, the fans are behind her. Her character is great. She's getting, she's had some great promos, but it's almost like what I would call kind of like the Bray Wyatt syndrome. It's like she's got, these great rivalries, and she wins here and there, but she doesn't get the big victory, which really kind of sucks. I at least that particular match, I think Liv Morgan should have advanced. The Toni Storm Zelina Vega match, I personally would have preferred to see Toni Storm advance. I'd love to see Toni versus Liv. I think that'd be a great match. But Zelina Vega, like I said, I've been a fan of hers for a very long time. I have no issue really with her advancing. Like I said, me saying the wrong person won the matches is not a knock against Carmella or Zelina Vega. It's just, I think, as a fan, I think that's probably what the fans would have preferred to see was Toni Storm and Liv Morgan advance. Just my opinion. So take it for what it is. But WWE so far, I'm not impressed with this Queen's Crown tournament, and that's not anything to do with the women that are in it. It's the way WWE is booking it. So that's where my issue comes in. Hopefully maybe on the Raw side coming up this week, it'll be a little bit better. I don't have a lot of confidence in that, but you never know. I've been surprised before. So that is my hot take for the week. WWE, you're dropping the ball on this one. So that is going to wrap things up for this week. Coming up next week, though, 2 very special episodes of the show. First, on Friday, we will have a preview of Warrior Wrestling Sweet 16, breaking down all the matches, the whole card. Bret Hart will actually be appearing at this show. I cannot wait for that one. And then on Saturday, Charlie G and myself will be broadcasting live from Warrior Wrestling Sweet 16. So make sure you get on the Podbean app, listen live and free. Hear me and Charlie on the call for all of these matches. There are 10 matches on the card. Like I said, on the show on Friday, we will break them all down and go through the whole show. And like every Warrior show, this card is stacked. It's going to be insane. But make sure you check that out on Friday. And then Saturday night, starting at 8 p.m. Central Time, check out the live broadcast of Warrior Wrestling Sweet 16. So once again, I want to thank everybody for watching, listening, and subscribing on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts from. Head to catchhookshoot.com, find all the shows, all the videos, all the interviews, and the shop, and all that kind of fun stuff. Make sure you're following on social media at catchhookshoot on all platforms. ProWrestlingTees.com/catchhookshoot for t-shirts that are not on the website. And you can find all that and more on our Linktree, which is Linktree/catchhookshoot, or scan this little QR code right here in the corner if you're watching on YouTube. And if you ever want to shoot me an email, it's catchhookshoot@gmail.com. So once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Very happy to be back after taking a couple of months off. We missed you guys, and just thank you for sticking with the show and for following along and indulging us in this crazy wrestling journey that we're on. So with that, hope everybody has a great week. Enjoy all the great wrestling that's going to be coming up this week, and I will talk to you guys soon.